My people, listen very carefully. When they speak of the village of Okoko, they speak of wealth, beauty, and secrets. They speak of a place where the sun kisses the earth and the land itself seems alive. Ah, my people, Okoko was a village that looked like a jewel. It sat nestled between two gentle hills, wrapped in red earth and endless greenery. Mornings were soft with mist, resting on the rooftops like delicate cotton. Roosters crowed. Children laughed as they ran along winding paths, and the air smelled of ripe fruits, fresh soil, and the sweetness of life itself. Mango trees stood like wise elders along the village paths, their branches wide and generous. Orange trees bent low under the weight of their fruit. Palm trees swayed tall and proud over the farms. Yams slept peacefully under the soil, and everything in Okoko grew with ease, as if the land itself were happy. No one went hungry. No one begged. Life was good. The people of Okoko looked as though they belonged to the sun. Their skin glowed warm gold and bronze, smooth and shining with health. Men walked tall and confident. Women moved with grace, their wrappers bright, jewelry catching the sunlight. Children laughed freely, their faces open and glowing. Their palm oil was rich and pure, their palm wine fresh and sweet to the core. Sellers from other villages came to buy from them, marveling at the quality. Visitors often stayed for days, enjoying the abundance, the calm, and the warmth of the villagers. They wandered through the markets, tasting palm wine, buying fresh fruits, marveling at the fabrics, and praising the golden beauty of the people. Everyone wanted what they had, but the chief was careful. Many wanted to move into the village, but the elders and the money tree would not allow it. Only those with pure intentions could stay. The secret of Okoko was closely guarded, and only the villagers themselves could enjoy the fullness of its gifts. At the very center of the village stood a tree. This was not any ordinary tree, it was the money tree, the secret of the village. It gave paper money. It gave everything the villagers needed. Only those who knew the secret could see it. Outsiders saw only an ordinary tree, its trunk wide and silent, its leaves rustling, but nothing more. The money tree protected Okoko. It gave them wealth, crops, and happiness. But nothing good comes for free. The tree needed to eat and drink just as the villagers did. It demanded a price for its blessings, and the villagers had learned long ago to obey its rules. Every year, one family was chosen. That family had to sacrifice one child, always the firstborn. If the first child had already been taken in a previous year, then the second child would be required when the family's turn came again. 1 year, one family, one child. For generations, this rule had been obeyed, and Okoko remained blessed. Ah, but greed, my people, has a way of creeping in. One villager, tempted by the wealth of the money tree, could not keep the secret to himself. He went out of Okoko and told 2 friends in a nearby town. He whispered, eyes wide, "There's a tree in Okoko, a tree that gives paper money, real money, and only the villagers know its secrets." Those friends could hardly believe it. Now that they knew the secret, they could see the tree, the bundles of money, the glowing leaves, everything. That night, under the cover of darkness, the 3 of them crept quietly into Okoko. Their hearts raced with excitement as they reached the money tree. They began stuffing their sacks with money, greed overtaking their senses. But the money tree, my people, is wise and just. The villagers, awakened by the noise, rushed out and surrounded them. The tree did not take their blood, for they were outsiders. Instead, it punished them in its own way. The villager who revealed the secret was banished from Okoko, never to return. The 2 outsiders had their voices taken and their memories of the village's secret erased. They walked away in silence, powerless to ever reveal what they had seen. The money tree remained, glowing softly in the moonlight, safe and untouched, its paper money once again secure for the people of Okoko. Now, let's talk about Asuka. Asuka, you see, was one of the richest and most celebrated women in the village. She had moved to Okoko 5 years ago after her husband had left her. She brought her 3 children, hoping to start a life afresh. Her home was comfortable, her wrappers bright and elegant, her gold shining in the sun. Asuka ran a successful fabrics business. Her fabrics were admired across the village and even in nearby towns for their colors, their quality, and the care she put into every stitch. Every morning, she opened her shop, arranging her colorful fabrics, smelling the fresh cotton and silk. Villagers came from near and far to buy her goods, admiring the shine of her fabrics, the way her hands folded and displayed them. Even elders praised her work, whispering to each other about how she had brought prosperity to the markets. Her wealth grew, her home sparkled, and she lived with comfort and pride. But one day, everything changed. The elders came to her home, their faces serious, their eyes heavy with expectation. Asuka, it is your family's turn. Fear and disbelief gripped her heart. 5 years she had lived here, enjoying the wealth, the comfort, the freedom the money tree had given her, and now her time had come. She had 3 children: Lami, the firstborn, quiet and observant; Bayo, bold and playful; Kesi, small and innocent. She could not believe that she would have to sacrifice one of them. On the night of her family's sacrifice, Asuka walked alone to the money tree. She carried a large sack. Inside the sack was not her child. It was a dog. Earlier that day, she had taken Lami deep into the forest and hid her in an abandoned hut. She placed the sack at the roots of the tree, hoping to fool it, thinking she had escaped judgment. But the next morning, panic struck the village. The money tree gave no money. Men gathered at their farms and returned with worry. Crops were drying, leaves curling, soil cracking. Panic spread through Okoko. Women rushed to check their gardens. Children stared in confusion. Villagers began to whisper among themselves, afraid, anxious, looking at each other. Even the village market grew quiet. No one dared to sell or buy, the energy of the community disturbed by the tree's silence. The elders went to Asuka. They said, "What did you do?" She cried and said, "I sacrificed the child." They returned to the tree. It shook its branches slowly. It did not speak. They searched her home. Nothing. Fear grew. This had never happened before. By the second day, sickness entered the village. Strong men became weak. Children fell ill. Women could not work in the fields. People whispered her name. They said, "She must have done this. Nothing like this has ever happened." That night, Asuka made her decision. Under the cover of darkness, she packed food, clothes, and a large sack of money she had saved over the years. She gathered her 2 remaining children, Bayo and Kesi, and began to sneak out of the village, trying to escape the punishment of the money tree. The forest seemed darker than usual. Shadows stretched long and twisted. The ground trembled violently as she stepped out of her house. Owls screeched. Leaves rustled like whispers. The money tree roared silently. Villagers rushed out and saw her, yelling and shouting. She cried, falling to her knees, forced by the elders to lead them to Lami, the firstborn, hidden deep in the abandoned hut. The 3 children were brought back to the money tree. The elders said, "She has eaten from the tree, but she refused the price. Justice must be served." The money tree demanded payment. It took all 3 of Asuka's children. Immediately, the land healed. Fresh leaves sprouted. Crops grew tall and healthy again. Money returned to the branches. The village rejoiced. For the next 3 years, no family had to sacrifice a child. Okoko was safe, blessed, and free. Asuka left Okoko in shame. She moved to another land, her wealth meaningless, her nights long haunted by the memory of what she had lost. Okoko remained untouched, alive, and prosperous. And the money tree still stands at the center of the village, waiting, watching, giving, and taking only what is required. Outsiders pass by and see only a tree,